Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name is Christine, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this card using the Wendy Vecchi Heartfelt Art stamp set. So I have the stamp set, Heartfelt Art, and to my surprise, it now came with stencils. I somehow did not realize that. So this is the heart stencil there, and of course it fits right in with this heart stamp. Like that. And then there's also this one here that you could use, you can punch and use for stitching if you'd like. And then there's also stencils to coordinate with the flowers. But we're going to be using the heart today. So I have my card here. And now the thing you want to be careful of when you start this project is to make sure your heart is the right way. You can see here it is not the right way. There, now it is the right way. So you don't want to stencil it to realize when you go to stamp it, it doesn't work the right way. So you want to make sure you have the heart the right way. Now I put it on a little bit of an angle. That was just my preference, sort of like that. Now, Wendy also came out with this ink palette, and it's quite a firm sheet that's been coated. And I put some of the Distress Oxides on here. I have some Abandoned Coral, Candied Apple, and Squeezed Lemonade. And even though I put this on the other day, you can still use them. They still have some moisture to it because they didn't dry on this sheet. Then Wendy also came out with her little detail brushes that we're going to be using. You get 10 in a pack and they're double-sided. So as I mentioned, I have my little card here. I'm going to pick up some of this Candied. That was supposed to be pink, but it's going to be red. So you can see I can still pick up that ink that's on there. And I'm starting just to go around the edge of my heart. Now I probably want more ink. So even though it is there, you can sort of see it's a little dryish. I think I want a bit more ink. So I'm going to put some more Candied Apple there. I'll add a bit more to this. Yep, and a little yellow. Okay. Now I am just using an inexpensive card here. So I'm not using a nice, you can get some really nice stamping paper where the inks work that much better on. This is just an inexpensive paper. And I'm just roughly filling this in now because I'm going to be putting more color in the middle there. But I want a bit of that darker around the edge of my heart. So I can go in with that coral and start to fill it in. So the great thing about these detail brushes is that you can get in there with small parts, because later on I'll be using the big brushes, but you can see like I can easily get off out of the stencil if I use the big brush. And so these little brushes are great because it keeps you within a nice small zone. And then I'm going to just pick up some yellow and you can see the yellow just brightens it up a bit. And again, these were the Oxide inks, Distress Oxide, that I was using for this. So sort of like that. So now when I take it off, ta-da, look how pretty that heart is. So we want to protect our heart. So that's where the mask is going to come in. You can see it goes over top, And to keep it in place, I'm just going to put some tape. I have this purple tape from Thermoweb. Just going to tape it down a little just to hold it in place while I ink over some areas. So you just sort of line it up, and that will sort of hold that in place. So now I'm going to work on the background. So I'm going to move this stuff out of my way. Done with the palette for now. And for the background, I had used Squeezed Lemonade, Mermaid Lagoon, and Twisted Citron. So I start with my light color of the Squeezed Lemonade. And I sort of hold my mask in place while I go around it. And you can turn your card. You don't always have to work the same way. And again, I'm just getting a layer of ink down onto my paper. Sort of like that. I don't mind that it's not completely smooth because I'll be adding more ink. So I'm going to switch it off and put on my green foam. Now I'm just more or less going over top of the whole card again. But by putting that yellow underneath first, it gives a nice layer of ink to work on, and it just adds a bit of brightness. And now I have another one with the blue. And this, I'm starting around the edges and then bringing it more into the card. I'm not going to make the whole thing blue. I'm going to still have some of that other color showing. I still go near the heart. Just want to work that ink in a bit so you don't see the full-on like little circle spots. So then I'm going to put a little bit of stamping. I have this background stamp from Wendy with these little dots. And I'm just going to roughly put it on. I want to make sure it's sort of around the edges because it's sort of bordering. Put a bit more down there. There we go. Like that. Now for the edge, I'm going to use my black ink and just give it a bit of a border around. And it just, I find, frames the card when you have that dark color. So now we take off our mask, and ta-da, even though we made that crazy background, we still have the really pretty heart all set there. It's time to stamp. So I'm going to take the platform. I'm doing rubber stamp. Put my little magnets down. Now because we can't see exactly where it is, we just sort of line it up best as we can. And if it's off a little, It's still fine. I'm going to ink my stamp. I'm using Archival ink for my inking. And there, we have the heart. I did a pretty good job lining that up. And then if you want, you can just add a sentiment. I'll do that thank you one. And there we have our completed card. So it's really great now that Wendy stamps come with not just the beautiful stamps, but also the little stencils and the masks. So you can do one layer cards but still have lots of color and lots of different elements. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time videos on YouTube. In the meantime, here are a couple other videos you might be interested in watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.